All right. Well, welcome, Shilpi, to the first spotlight for the Urban Shamans Healing Facebook group. How are you today?
Thank you, Alana. It's such an honor to be here and such a pleasure because it's always so great to connect with you and chat with you. I'm doing really well, feeling excited because I feel like this journey that you embarked upon is going to be very meaningful and very supportive for a lot of people that are on this journey. Maybe they're aware, maybe they're not aware, but it's going to hold space for them, for each and every person that's ready.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, and just to introduce to our viewers, this is a spotlight. Shilpi has been a healer who I've had the privilege of working with through the Compassion Key program. She has held space with me in just miraculous, different sort of ways. And I think she has a lot of things to offer the world, and that's one of the purposes of the spotlight, is to give everyone a chance to show up, be themselves, tell us what they're up to. And I have some questions that I sent ahead of time for her to marinate about. So what I'm going to try to do is see if my screen share wants to work, so we can pop the question up there. Let me see. Hopefully it is working. So it should say Spotlight Shilpi
Yes, it
Gupta.
is.
Does it? Okay, great. We're
Yeah.
on. Perfect. All right. And so the first question is, what would you tell someone who just awakened to their spiritual gifts to help them on their journey?
That's a beautiful question. And this is something that we don't think about a lot because everything just happens and we are thrown in the thick of things and we're supposed to manage it all. So, this is
Mhm.
such a beautiful question. And I'm sure it's going to be a lot of help to whoever uh, this comes across with. Um, what would I say? Tell someone who's just awakened to their spiritual gifts to help them on their journey. Well, first of all, congratulations for waking up to your gifts. And secondly, um, just love yourself because these gifts are something that these are like the seeds that have always been within you. It's only when the time was right that they started to show up. And when that happens, it's almost like all our old programmings that were all built around it to cover all these gifts, they start, they all start to play out. So proverbial, like shit hits the fan, it's almost like everything around you will either start to seem like really tough, things breaking up, uh, confusion.
Mhm.
However, if you can just be kind and gentle with yourself, as you realize, okay, I have some gifts, um, that'll really, really help you stay in a space. For example, when you think about a tornado or a whirlwind, see, the center is always the safest. Same like that, when your spiritual gifts awaken, it's almost like a whirlwind that goes around you. If you can center yourself, keep coming back, it'll try to pull you in all directions. And as humans, we're conditioned to allow ourselves to go whichever
Mhm.
way. But if we can keep coming back to the center, to the eye of the storm, that's your safest place. Plus, the other thing is don't journey alone. It's a
Mhm.
beautiful journey. Um, it is thought, a lot of times we look at, people who've evolved, they're all on their own. So we feel we must do it by ourselves. And even the society has taught us that if we are not doing it by ourselves, there's a weakness, or if we ask for help, we are not good enough. However, on this spiritual journey, it is a tough and lonely journey, but we don't have to make it that way.
Mm.
Times are changing. Old paradigms don't hold, true anymore with the changing times. I feel if you can reach out to somebody or just open yourself up and ask the universe to send you somebody who can hold space for you as you're going through that journey, that initial awakening, to hold space for you. I think that would really, really benefit and help you stay, bring you back to that center time and time again.
That's beautiful. Do you do you remember in your life where like what was there a particular thing that really sparked your memory or your awakening of realizing you're on this path?
I mean, there's not one particular memory because from a very young age, if I can remember, life has been really, I feel I've been very blessed. It hasn't been very tough for me because generally we say spiritual awakening is really tough and all that. And when I look back, life's been really kind to me. And situations in my life were such that, they paved way from one thing to another. And the earliest memory I remember, I had two names when I was little before I entered school.
Hmm.
Shilpi was one, and another name, another nickname. And actually, that was supposed to be my real name, and Shilpi was supposed to be my nickname. But for some reason, I didn't want that name. Even as a 3 or 4 year old, I told my mom, Mom, I just want Shilpi to be my name. I just want one name. And I
Hmm.
chose Shilpi, not knowing the meaning at that time. But now, when I look back, the meaning of my name is Shilpi is an Indian name. Shilpi means a sculptor. And you think of a sculptor, what does a sculptor do? It sculpts, it frees the sculpture from the stone, right?
Hmm.
And I remember initially I thought, oh, I'm supposed to be an artist, and I am an artist. I went into learning dance and art and all of that. But now the deeper meaning of sculptor is that I am actually helping people uncover their gifts. I help people connect with their true essence,
Hmm.
bring out that sculpture that is hidden, buried deep down under the trauma, under the life experiences, under the, if all the learning, or rather all the knowledge or intellectual information that is piled on us
Hmm.
right from the time we are little. So I help people just let go of all that and just come out and shine their light bright.
That's so
So,
beautiful. And you have such a peaceful, elegant way of communicating and just having presence. I feel like it's very, I think it could melt the hardest rock. So I
oh,
love
thank
that
you.
metaphor. Yeah, I've always felt so held by your presence.
Yeah,
I also love your response because it's a good segue into the next question, which is, as a practitioner, who do you enjoy working with and what has been a success story for you?
it's beautiful, beautiful question. And I know in today's world, a lot of times, especially with business, marketing,
Hmm.
a lot of times, people are asked, what's your niche? What is it, that one segment that you want to work with? And I've thought a lot about it, and the human mind always tells me, Shilpi, you got to get down to one this thing. And and I know we each have our special geniuses. We have our special areas. And for me, I feel it's the children and the mothers. It's
Mm-hmm.
always been, that's been my calling. So I remember as a little child, my parents said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I said, "I want to be a teacher." My
Mm-hmm.
parents said, "Oh, teachers don't make any money." So right away, I was like, okay. And I never told them anything. But immediately after I finished my college, I went straight to teaching. So, and I worked with children in the capacity of a teacher, but more than that, I mean, I always had a thing with psychology. So I did my counseling and I started because I felt I needed to respond to these children who had so much to tell me. I would teach them dance, but they wanted to talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
So then I went on to counseling. But even as a counselor, I remember taking them on visual guided journeys because I felt just talking and listening wasn't doing much. And when I took these children, especially, I mean, the little ones are easy, you can tell them a story and they take the metaphor, their soul understands, right? So it was very easy. But when dealing with teenagers, especially in the high school, that
Mm-hmm.
when they came to me and I took them on guided journeys, because you see, as a counselor, you're not supposed to give them any advice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So at that time, my tool was visualization. I would, it was the easiest thing because of what you said, before we moved into this question, the presence. I've always known that my presence was my superpower for some reason. Um, and when they came into my office, no matter what their state of mind was, the kids, the teenagers, they would just come, they calm down, and when I took them on journeys, their whole being was shifted in a way that was positive, that was helpful for them.
Mm-hmm.
And couple of couple of three suicide cases where I was told, "Hey, Shilpi, this child is seeming like they need special attention." And
Mm-hmm.
I worked with them, and you know their not only their thoughts changed, their entire outlook to life changed, and we prevented suicide. And not only that, the communication that opened up between them and the parents, or whatever it was that was bothering them, it was amazing. It was beyond miracle. And I said, "Oh my God, I meant to serve these people." And that's how I knew that it was the parents, mothers, and children. And
Yeah.
I've always served. Um, and if you look at um, even the adults that I work with now, there is a child in each of us. We are all grown ups with those little inner children, running around
Right.
in grown up bodies. We're little kids running around in grown up bodies. So when I connect with people, it's like almost straight away I connect with that inner child.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's just such an honor to be able to do that and help those little kids find a home in the adult body.
That's so beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes I see people as what do you call them? The Russian dolls
Yeah,
that
those
are,
dolls, stacked up dolls, right?
yes, yes, you just got a deeper layer as you go in deeper. Yeah, no, I really like that. I can sense, I can get that from your life experience because you've worked with people of different ages. You're able to energetically connect with the various different issues that each age group might have, which, as a healer, it's a remarkable skill to just kind of be like, like assess the wound at 16 versus the wound at 6 or whatever, and know how to communicate to that inner child aspect or the inner teen aspect.
Yeah, yeah.
um, That's wonderful. That's very beautiful. And I think what I'm getting is a sense of reconciliation, or maybe that's not the right word, but like solidifying the mother um, child relationship as a fundamental bond that really helps
Yeah,
children.
yeah.
That's beautiful, a beautiful focus to have.
You've said it so beautiful about the mother and child bond.
Hmm.
And I'll just share quickly. I was gifted this healing that I've named it as lotus stem healing because it was Goddess Terra that gifted me this healing. She didn't show me. It was like my friend said, "Hey, Shilpi, this is for you. Goddess Terra wants me to." We were working together, me and my contemporary, and she said, she's here and she wants you to, take it because I've been working a lot with the wounds of the womb, and
Yeah.
that's like my specialty. I work intensely with women and clearing out their woundings, or even people dealing with wounds that happened when they were in the womb. You
Mm-hmm.
see, our life starts there,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever we experience in the womb, it has such a deep impact in everything that we do as an adult.
Mm.
But a lot of time, um, not knowing what has happened, we just deal with once the child is born, right?
Right.
So that specific area, the time that the fetus is in the womb, because the mother transfers everything to the child, and when the child is conceived, and if we can heal that part, it's almost like you can clear out the slate, wipe it clean, and install whatever new thing that you want to install. So
Wow.
that's been, yeah,
That's beautiful.
lotus stem healing, and uh, whoever I've taken them through that process, they have shared remarkable shifts between the relationship between them and their moms.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's beautiful. I might have to take you up on that because I'm
Absolutely.
working on deepening my relationship with my mom. I mean, I think she and I
Yeah,
have always been very close. We've had like a lot of energetic contracts between each other that we've had
yeah,
to shift and transform. Um, but yeah, beautiful. Thank you for
yeah,
describing your practice like that. Um,
absolutely.
let's move on to the next question. Where do you see yourself in a few years? Who do you feel you are becoming? And where do you feel like you want to go with your practice?
That's a beautiful question again. And when I read the question, my mind jumped into, all the planning and all that needs to happen. And, you hear people saying, so where do you see yourself 5 years down the line
Mhm,
or
mhm,
10 years down the line? However, I took a pause because my mind jumped very quickly and I've already seen, where I should be, what I should do.
mhm, mhm,
And then you know, I went within and I said, my life has always played out so beautifully without me having any plans. I've never really planned. I never planned, I want to do this when I become big or blah, blah, blah. Never.
mhm,
I just knew I wanted to be a teacher. Where, how much money, none of that. However, I found the more I trusted or more I allowed myself to go with the flow, life has taken me to the best places. If
mm,
I needed a job, it just, presented itself. If I needed more money in the job, it just presented itself. I didn't have to struggle. But then there came a time when I wanted something or I wanted to make something happen. And trust me, I messed it up big time because I was using my will. I
Mm.
wanted to control things.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
when this question came up, I was reminded, Shilpi, do you want to allow life to flow through you or
mm,
do you want to control? And I know this has been like my message that allow life to flow through you.
mhm,
Yeah, we all need some rudimentary kind of an idea. We need to have dreams, we can imagine. However, don't get so stuck up with your plans that you don't allow life to flow through or
mm,
life
mm.
to take you even beyond your imagination.
Yeah,
You might
wow.
have a little tiny dream, but life might be wanting to give you, you might want a home, but maybe life or the universe wants to give you a palace. But if you're so stuck on that little house, that life cannot give you, right?
Right.
And you're clashing. So, where do I see myself in a few years? Um, I actually see myself expressing myself completely, wholly, fully, just as I am now, because I realize that as the days are passing by, I'm becoming more and more comfortable with
Mm,
just being. It's not that I want to be something else. No, I just want to be me. I
mhm,
want to be able to hold space that I do now, and it gives me immense joy. This is my bliss when I can hold space for somebody and allow for their transformations to happen.
mm, mhm.
You see? So what am I becoming? I'm just becoming deeper and more of who I am right now. Where do I feel I want to go with my practice?
Yeah.
Oftentimes I have had this vision or this dream that I do want to have a community
Mm, mhm,
and I want every aspect of people to be addressed. In the sense, I was very lucky growing up. I grew up in an ashram. I was born in a very different area of India, but life just took me from where I was born to the southern part of India, where it was Shiva's dance. I love dancing, but never just thought that I would go to another part of India to learn a different form of dancing. But
Nice.
life took me there and I learned Shiva's dance. And Shiva has been a very, very prominent presence in my life, the guidance and everything. And so I learned that I went to an ashram. That's where my whole spiritual, grooming happened. Besides the dance and the music and art, that was also, part of my life.
Mm,
And then I was blessed to work in schools like Krishnamurti School or Aurobindo Ashram.
mm,
And if you look these up, these are very, very deeply spiritual places. And I didn't plan any of it. But the moment I finished studying, I came out and then this job, somebody told me, hey, I think they're looking for a dance teacher. And I was trying to find out what school, where. Then I see the ad for the same job in the paper.
yeah.
And of course, then it's history. Then I just got the job but I feel like uh, I want to do the same. I want to help people be whole.
Mhm,
And for that, I feel the conditions have to be provided for them to be whole. And I envision like a retreat center or a community where people can come and just experience on all levels
mhm.
healing. And so I hopefully one day, if that is what my life journey is supposed to be, I would love to have a retreat center by ocean, because I grew up there, and ocean is always that primordial calling.
Mm,
I would love to, invite people and just allow them to be themselves, be in that um, that sacred space
mhm.
that um, I would have cultivated and expanded to hold whoever wants to come there and just unfold, blossom, and become whole.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I was able to enjoy a meditation, sublime meditation. I think, is that what it called? Sublime.
Sublime Soul Journey.
There we go. Sublime Soul Journey. That's right. Um, and I feel like that was a virtual sacred space that you created that really, I think, channeled all of that energy of like it would have. I can imagine that becoming material, becoming placed in a 3D where you could go and have a immersive experience. But yeah, I also just really enjoyed that version of that channeling as well. Yeah, that's wonderful. Um, well, I've been really enjoying the answers you provide to my questions. I especially like how you've helped me think more deeply about the questions I'm asking. Um, and you've I've been studying like the interplay between divine masculine, divine feminine, and I'm always trying to get a better sense of divine feminine in my journey at becoming more feminine. Um, and I definitely feel your approach is very sacred, very motherly, very much about planting seeds and um, just allowing the universe to unfold for you and just be ready to receive with effortless ease. And I love that as a message. I wanted to end this spotlight with allowing you to spotlight potentially activities or events that you have that you would like to invite people to. I know that you have a Facebook group for yourself, and if you want, we can add the link to the spotlight so people can check out your Facebook group. And you're also welcome to post any event or anything that you want onto the Urban Shaman Healers group as well, just to bring traffic over to your spaces.
Well, thank you, Elena.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Facebook page is Sublime Healings, and the group is called Sublime Healing with Shilpi.
Mhm.
And I do a lot of meditations, which I call soul journeys, because basically your soul is actually taking a journey, and I'm just a guide.
Mhm.
I'm just taking you safely to your destination and bringing you back. And a lot of healing happens, even though I've done a lot of modalities. But when I'm present with the client, it whatever the client elicits from me, because basically a healer doesn't do anything.
Mhm.
The healer just holds the space and allows the client or the person who needs healing to pull up whatever it is that they need.
Yeah.
And depending on the capacity of the person who needs healing, what level they are at in their journey, the capacity of their soul, based on that, they receive whatever it is that they need. And so, soul journeys are beautiful. We do in a group setting. I take a group through, and each individual experiences it in their own way, shape, or form. And so those are really powerful. Um, and I also do one on ones. So in the group, you have all of that information.
Mhm.
But one thing that I would like to mention here is I'm going to be doing a homecoming. It's like a series of 12 sessions, group sessions, where I take people. Um, through this journey of 12 days,
Mhm.
taking them back home to themselves. So it's like 12 days of homecoming with Shilpi. And I started this last year, last December. It was just a guided thing. My guide said, Shilpi, it's time to do. Um, um, and it was beautiful because around December, the Christ consciousness was so beautifully felt. And I
Uh-huh.
felt the world was hurting and it needed that divine loving presence or the healing with Christ consciousness. So that is what came through. And I invited people, and each person, about 24 people, went on the journey. And each of them stated such profound shifts after the 12 days. We did that in December, and now I'm doing a second round of it. So the July and August next week. On Tuesday it starts. And on Sunday I want to do an introduction. So whoever feels called to, figure out more what is this about, please join me on Sunday, and we start on Tuesday next week on the journey. And this is going to take you to the seat of who you truly are
Mm.
and help you become the tree that you came to be.
That's beautiful. That's amazing.
Thank
That
you.
so that's gonna be, just to be clear on the time, that's Tuesdays. And do you have a time, or which time zone are you in?
I'm on East Coast, but what I'm going to do, Alana, is that I will send you the details. So when you air this thing, you can
Uh-huh.
put it in the comments or whatever section that
Okay.
you want to put in. So
Beautiful.
people can just click on the link and register for the introduction session.
Awesome. That'll show all the important
Yeah.
logistics information. Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much for spending this time with me this evening. Do you have any last things to say to the community as we wrap up here? Just any words of wisdom, or just anything, any last thoughts?
Yeah. Um, I think last and always, what's on my mind is this love, this deep love. And this love, most of the time, we are yearning for this love, expecting it to come from outside. But it's the love of, that we yearn from outside. If we can give ourselves that love,
Hmm.
the outside will be much, much more loving. And because if you look at it, there are no others in the world. Everybody is an aspect of us showing up in our experience, telling us what part of us maybe needs a little more love, maybe a
Mm-hmm.
little more healing. And when we can love ourselves completely, our whole reality, our whole experience will change, and we'll see only love around us.
Mm. Oh my gosh.
So
Well,
just love yourself more.
let's breathe that in, everybody. That's beautiful. Let's bring all the love we can to ourselves. And thank you, Shilpi, for being part of this community. Look forward to
Thank you so
sharing
much.
all of your gifts with as many people as it can connect with.
Thank you, Alana. This has been a beautiful, joyful conversation and a deep honor for me to be here.
Have a great evening.
You too, and all the best.